I was diagnosed at the age of 62, about two and a half years ago, yeah. And COVID had started. It was May of 2020, so COVID had started. I was ending a school year, and I was diagnosed de novo metastatic, which means I never had early stage cancer. It was spreading to other parts of my body. Metastatic meaning it's no longer just in your breast. It's still breast cancer, but it then mutates and goes to, mine was in my bones first. And now over the last 2 years, it's now progressed to my stomach lining, subcutaneous nodules on my neck and back, into my eye orbits. And then this week I found out I have a couple spots in my brain. So mine's not under control, and the life-prolonging treatments I've been on, they do amazing things. And I know women who have lived 10, 15, 20 years. So it almost seems like a chronic disease. But I think there's more people out there like me who are going through those treatments fairly quick. They don't work. The cancer outsmarts it. I think I have a very smart cancer in my body. And so it is becoming resistant to all those things. And I'm now on the more toxic IV chemos. And that's pretty much my prognosis from here. That or phase 1 trials where it's first in a human body. And luckily I have a science background, and I will somewhat, when I can pull myself out of it, enjoy being a guinea pig for science. So, but that's my journey so far and where I'm at right now.
And I guess you said earlier to me the word lifer.
Yeah.
Why do you want to use that word?
So early stage is, you'll hear the word warrior and make sure you fight, and there's something to conquer, because 70% of cases will conquer, and breast cancer will never come back, and they are survivors because they survived it and they won. When you're stage 4, there is absolutely no cure. There is no conquering it. And a lot of stage 4, they still hold on to that word warrior. They still want to fight. It's important because it pulls up a strength in them. So you will still hear stage 4 metastatic breast cancer women use those terms. For me and some of the people I know, a friend of mine put it beautifully this morning. She said, cancer has no intent, so it's not trying to kill you. It's just a thing that's out there, and it happens to have that effect. So it's hard to fight it. And for me, it's hard for me to fight something in my own body. I want to be at peace, keep my body calm, avoid stress or adrenaline. And so we don't like that word fight or warrior, but it's an independent thing. It varies from woman to woman. So we thought about stage 4 thrivers, and those that are doing really good, living 10, 15, 20 years, good quality of life. And that's what I've been till now. And then I thought about strivers. We're still striving for that good quality of life. But then the word lifers came up recently, and it kind of resonates with me, where stage 4, unless you die of something else, that's what you will die of. And so for me, the word is lifer. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, even you telling us that you found out you had some spots in your brain this week. Yeah. Why are you so willing, I guess, to kind of talk about this and help other people and be so involved? What is it? Why is this so important to you?
Well, it might seem like I'm being selfish, like I'm trying to help myself, but actually any effect I have right now is probably not going to help me at this point. But people in my group, my support group, local support group here in town, by the way, it's a stage 4 Ivy League support group with Breast Cancer Resource Center, a wonderful organization here in town. Some of them are in their 30s and 40s. I haven't even gotten a chance to start families, or just starting families and wondering how long they'll be able to be there for their families, and it's heartbreaking. You know, if there's any silver lining for me is I've lived a long, full life, and yeah, there's things I wish I had been able to do, like I wish I had a family and children, but that never happened for me, so instead I had a dynamic work life. And so now what's my legacy? What's my way to give back? What's my way to make a difference? And that's something that's important to me. And if what I do now plants a seed that helps someone in not only the metastatic world, but early stage breast cancer women, there's a 30% chance they'll become stage 4. So it's helping them, even though they may not realize it and we may not focus on it. And metastatic stage 4 is the only breast cancer that kills. There's a small percentage of early stage, if they don't catch it in time, that may kill someone, but bottom line, stage 4 is the only one that kills. So if we focus from that end, try to find a cure or life-prolonging treatments for metastatic, we're helping the whole breast cancer world that's before that. So, and for me, like, I'm going to try to have as much fun as I can and as many adventures and experiences as I can before I go, but I also want to make a difference. So.
I was going to say, that kind of goes into my next question. I had, like we talked about, each person their own, how they want to, you know, classify themselves and treat their breast cancer, but a lot of October is a lot of like pink pose and things like that. And I know from a metastatic standpoint, I mean, how important is it to focus on metastatic people as well?
It's a difficult month for metastatic stage 4 because of all the pink and rah-rah, and there's so much hope in that. And we don't want to take that away. There's so much focus on making sure we reach the hard-to-reach communities that don't have as many resources and knowledge, and get early screening and get the knowledge out there. We don't want to take away that hope, but we're so grateful that there's a nationally, actually we just got state recognition a day or so ago, and we also have city recognition, proclamations that say Thursday, October 13th is Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day. So we want to thank Mayor Steve Adler, who's busy with appointments, so he can't get involved a lot this week, but we thank him for signing one for us. Greg Abbott signed one for the state, and I guess President Biden did one for the nation. So we at least get this one night. And there's a wonderful organization called Light Up MBC. It's a program, a national program, and they get landmarks all over the United States and a few outside of the country. Big buildings, well-known landmarks that have lighting technology. And our colors, we include pink, but not just pink. We also have teal and green. And the colors are symbolic. And I can't quote it off the top of my head right now, but it was important to include a couple more colors, and because it's more complicated and more involved. And so we have 2 landmarks here in Austin that are lighting up in our honor. They're going to light up in teal because they don't do all 3 colors, but the Grove multi-use complex sign on 45th and Bull Creek, when you see it lit up in teal on Thursday evening at dusk, that's for us. And so we thank Endeavor Real Estate for making that happen. And Block 185 downtown, everyone knows it as the Sail Building or the Sailboat Building, okay? But it's called Block 185. It's right across the river near First Street and Cesar Chavez. If you're on the south side of the river, you can get a really good view of it from Stevie Ray Vaughan. It will be lit up in teal at dusk in our honor. So you may see women with these shirts down there, grouping around it as it lights up, getting our pictures taken, acknowledging the evening. So we thank CBRE Real Estate. They're making that happen for the Google 185 building, Block 185 building. So, yeah.
I was going to say, how are you going to be involved this Thursday?
So, right about 7 o'clock, I'm going to head to the Grove, see if it's lit up, meet some of my friends, and there will be I have wonderful help from our Ivy League group here through BCRC. There will be a woman heading up, Kathy, my friend Kathy, she's going to be at the Grove to make sure she greets anyone that's there, and they'll take pictures and celebrate that. I will stop by, timing will be crazy, and then I'm going to head down to the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue to join with another girl, Christina, who's heading that up, and try and get a picture there. And then I'll head back here. Light Up NBC is having a wonderful online event, streamed online event through Live One, and they have all kinds of celebrities. Probably the most well-known ones are Lionel Richie's doing a spot, also Nightbird, who was on the famous talent show. Anywhere. She wrote a song, and she's now, between like a year and a half ago and now, she was on that show, she's now passed away. And she was in her 30s from metastatic breast cancer. So they'll feature, it's going to be a night of learning about what goes on with metastatic disease, hearing stories, being inspired by what's going on. And then, of course, if people can donate, it will be raising money for Metaviver. One reason I've kind of zoomed in on Metaviver is 100% of the donations that are made that night from individuals, if you text a donation in, 100% of that money goes to the research. There's no overhead. I don't know how they do that other than with just a huge amount of volunteers making it happen, and just watching things carefully and just making sure it goes directly to the cause. So if you care about where your money goes and you want it to make the most bang for your buck, I think it's a wonderful place to put it.
With your support group, if a woman, maybe they're watching this and they recently were diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, how important for you, and do you think for other people, having a support group like that of people that understand, like, how helpful is that?
It was extremely important to me because my world got turned upside down when I heard it, and it even took me 6 months before I could tell my family because I had to process first, and I knew they would have a reaction, and I had to be able to deal with that. I just had to process first. So I had a patient navigator who called me, made contact, and what really struck me is she was answering questions before I even knew I had those questions, and that's invaluable because, it's a whole different world. And then the first time I connected with, it was all online because it was during the pandemic, so we had online Zoom support groups, and the first time I attended one of those, it's kind of like I could relax, and everyone in there knew, like I didn't feel odd. They knew what I was going through, and you could just kind of let your defenses down. Everything they said just resonated with the fact that they understood. So I've been a loyal member of that group for over 2 years now, and some of my closest friends here in town, when I got bad news this week, they're two of the people that I talked to the first, and I was mad and angry, and they went with it and got me through that, like an initial conversation, and just were with me where I had to be. So I appreciated that so much.
Yeah, that's amazing. I honestly didn't even know there were groups like that, so it's so cool to see that they have like a few of them too.
Yeah, they have for different age groups, for different stages. They even have one for singles, they have one for people who want to stay active, just stay healthy and active, fitness kind of thing. So quite a few. I think the most important thing is to reach out. As soon as you make that first reach out, like a lot of the oncologist offices have someone who can steer you to community resources. So the biggest thing is to ask for help. You can always decide it's not for you. I know people who are going through early stage breast cancer, and even metastatic, that they don't need a support group. They've got really good family support and friends support. And so you can always say no, but unless you know what's out there, you don't know what you're saying no to, and it can be invaluable down the line. We share information we run across as far as trials and research and new treatments. I mean, it spreads like wildfire in our group, so we have the opportunity to ask our medical team about it right away and not waste time on getting the latest and greatest treatments. It's a really good network for information. I was going to say something else in there. Oh, and even though I have wonderful friends and I have lots of family here in town and they're being amazingly supportive, I guess I'm just a really needy person, but I need this group too. So that, and in some cases, my metastatic group, they almost are my first line so that I can be in a better place, because it's tough for friends and family to go through this. They're grieving your diagnosis right along with you, and yet they haven't had as much time to process. So for some of us, it's important to have all those avenues. Yeah. So reach out, ask for help.
I was going to say, and with MBC, I would think emotional support for you is like not, I don't want to say as important as physical support with medicine and stuff, but how important is the emotional support and emotional health?
I put it just as important. I think you're nailing it. You know, I've always been a very emotional person, but I'm also an introvert and I tend to process things on my own. But that can only take me so far. And I also know how important it is to connect with other people. And that's another level of emotional support. You know, there's some research that says stress is detrimental to your body, and maybe we got cancer because of stress, or stress definitely weakens your body and makes it harder for it to fight things. So if I can keep my emotions intact and keep a calm, peaceful, and just take care of that side of my life, you know, I mean, I can't undo the past, and I don't know that we even can control that. That's one message that, you know, so many people want to figure out why they got cancer. We don't know. And I know people that have been vegans all their life who have metastatic breast cancer. I know people who never smoked and they have lung cancer. And I've been athletic and led a healthy lifestyle as all my adult life. I've done marathons and Ironman triathlons, and I've always been active. I still got it, you know. So we can't undo anything, but from here, if I can control my emotions, keep my life stress-free, maintain a calmness and a clear vision about what I want to do with my time and my life, that it feels better, and it may just help my body fight cancer. So it's important.